Hello and welcome back to Pharma E-Class. I am Anindya Goswami from Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, and we were discussing the different categories and of dryers, which is a very useful machine in the pharmaceutical industry. So let us continue with spray dryers. This spray dryer is quite a useful machine as far as drying of liquids are involved. So spray dryers are used only to dry liquid material. This is a very important point. The spray dryers are used to dry liquid materials. Like for example, in case of milk, when from milk we obtain milk powder, the drying process which is being done, that is done in a spray dryer. So this is a particular diagrammatic representation of the spray dryer. In spray dryer, the liquid is sprayed in small droplets by atomizer in a drying chamber so that each droplet dries to a solid particle. The feed may either be solution, suspensions or pastes. So this is a unique category of dryer where we can feed in form of feed we can add solution, suspensions or maybe a paste. So this is a basic outline of a spray dryer. This is the drying chamber. This is a drying chamber and hot air passes through this area. So this is the tangential air inlet. The liquid feed, that is, it can be a solution, it can be a suspension or a paste. It passes through this way, it comes through this way, and hot air is, the inlet is this way, so it comes like this. And this is the sprayer, or which is called as the atomizer. That atomizer is actually spraying the liquid in form of the droplets. And once the droplets are sprayed, in this drying chamber. Because this drying chamber is filled with hot air, at once those droplets are dried. So from a liquid state, it is entirely coming into the solid state, and this process is quite fast. And after the drying process is over, then here from this particular point there is a cyclone separator which is separating air and the dry product. So this is quite a useful machine as far as drying of liquids are involved. Let's check the working of the spray dryer. So the material to be dried is fed to the atomizer. So this is the atomizer, and the material, the liquid feed is fed through this point. The disc below the atomizer spins at 3500 RPM. So this is the disc which is just fitted below the atomizer, and it rotates at a speed, spins at this particular RPM, 35000 RPM. Next, the hot air is introduced from the hot air inlet, the tangential air inlet. This is the hot air inlet, so it is being introduced from this particular point. Next, the dried powder is separated in the cyclone separator. Yes, here there is a cyclone separator. Cyclone separator is another machine from which, or by means of which, we separate dry particles from a fluid of air. So inside this drying chamber, this is the drying chamber, and when we spray the liquid through this atomizer, at once in forms of the droplet, it is being sprayed into the drying chamber, and at once it is dried, and the particles, they rotate in the gulf of the dry air, and through the help of the cyclone separator we separate the particles as the dry product, and the hot air is being removed out in forms of through the air outlet. So the separated material is collected as a product in the controller chambers. This is a dry product, it is collected through this, and the flow rate can be controlled by the air flow controlling valve. Next, these are the parts of the spray dryer which I have already mentioned: the atomizer, the heated air inlet, the drying chamber, the solid gas separator, the product collector, and the air controlling valve. These are the important parts of the spray dryer, and each and every part has its definite function. Come to the advantages and the disadvantage of the spray dryer. This is quite an advantageous machine in terms of that the material is dried in quite a few seconds. In a very quick span, in a short time span, the huge amount of material is being dried, and it is a continuous process. We have to go on putting the liquid feed, and it will go on. The process can be made into a continuous type. Since the evaporation rate is very high, droplets are not subjected to a very high temperature. Yes, we can control the air rate and we can control the temperature at which it is being dried. So evaporation rate, since it is entirely a closed chamber, the evaporation rate is higher. So droplets are not subjected to a very high temperature so that they can get decomposed. So that is not the problem. The dried powder has uniform particle size and shape due to the uniform spray by the atomizer disc, by the atomizer itself. So the particles which are dried, they are having quite a uniform particle size and shape. It can be also designed for sterile conditions where the sterility is important. We can modify the machine and we can also do such sterile particle drying of the sterile particles. The labor cost is low, yes. Volatile solvent can also be recovered. That is also another advantageous point. Come to the disadvantages. It is a very bulky equipment. Because entire process of inlet of dry air, hot air, in terms of hot air, then the liquid feed, then the cyclone separator, the atomizer, the product collector. So it is quite a heavy machine, a bulky machine. Lot of wastage of heat happens because when the hot air leaves the chamber, that is still quite hot, and we cannot handle that hot air because we have to avoid condensation also. So to eliminate condensation, to avoid condensation, we have to make shift the entirely air which is go through after separating the dry products from it through the cyclone separator. So lot of wastage of heat happens because the air which is leaving the chamber, drying chamber, it is still hot. It is a costly machine. That is another disadvantage which is there. Come its uses or applications. It is useful for all solutions or suspension form. Each and every solution and suspension mostly we can do through the use of the spray dryer. It is useful for drying of thermolabile materials like maybe antibiotics, some extracts like adrenaline, infusions, which is very important, suitable, usable. It is suitable for both soluble and insoluble substances like, for example, starch, gelatin, or maybe citric acid. The drying of milk, as I had already earlier mentioned, it's a very useful instrument in terms of drying of milk. Sulfur, methyl cellulose, any forms of soap or detergents, or quite a wide range variety of chemical is possible, is being done. It can produce spherical particles in the respiratory range like dry powder inhalers. For the generation of the drug product of dry powder inhalers, this is one of the important machine which is being routinely used. And it can be used for inflammable solvents also, for dry toxic substances, and for the complete recovery of the solvent. This is a typical spray dryer which is at our lab. So when we start with the practicals, we'll also have a demonstration of this particular machine. Next, come to another important machine, another important dryer, that is freeze dryer, which works on entirely a different principle. Freeze dryer works on the principle of sublimation eutectic point, where the temperature and pressure of the material is reduced below the triple point of the solvent to be dried. And under this condition, any heat transferred is used as the latent heat, and the ice or the solidified water, ice, sublimes directly from the solid state into the vapor state without formation of the liquid state. This particular principle is the principle behind the freeze dryer. Yes, this is a particular diagram of a triple point of water. You must have been familiar with this in your physics class. So this is the pressure area and this is the temperature, and at this particular point we can see the convergence of the three phases. The phases of vapor, then there is liquid and it is solid. So triple point of water comes at this particular point, that is triple point of pure water is 4579 micrometers of mercury and 0.0099 degree centigrade. Pharmaceutical products remain in solution at this particular point, and in this case pressure and temperature below which water evaporates directly from ice to vapor state is called as the eutectic point. And in freeze dryer, the pressure and temperature is maintained well below this eutectic point. And generally it is carried out at a point of minus 10 degrees centigrade to minus 40 degrees centigrade and at a particular pressure of 2200 micrometers of mercury. So this is is a unique type of dryer, and the principle is not similar to any other type of dryer which we have previously studied. So this is the typical diagrammatic representation of a freeze dryer. So this machine includes the heating system, the shelves or the drying chamber, the condenser, the vacuum pump, the refrigerator, everything. Because the process of heating, the process of refrigeration or freezing, again the process of application of vacuum, the process of condensation, everything is being done in the particular machine itself. So let us see what are the stages, and behind this what is being done initially. In this process, the initial solution or suspension is frozen. The pressure above the frozen state is reduced and water is removed by the process of sublimation. So what are the stages? First and foremost, we have to prepare and pre-treat the sample. For this particular thing, the first step is preparation and pre-treatment. What we do, the solutions we take 8 to 10 times longer period than pure water. If it is water, then it is okay, but in case of the protein solution, they take quite a longer period of time to sublime than pure water. Therefore, in such cases, it is desirable to concentrate the solution under normal vacuum tray dryer. So pre-freezing and pre-treatment solution is being done number of times to save the future time. Next, pre-freezing. What we do in pre-freezing, the aqueous solution to be dried are packed in vials, ampoules and bottles. Then they are cooled to solidify the water, and cooling can be done by using cold shelves at this particular temperature and alcohol baths again, and maybe we also can use nitrogen bath. So in these shelves, first and foremost we have to prepare and pre-treat, and then we have to apply the freezing temperature, that is called as pre-freezing. Next, the third step is primary drying or sublimation of ice under vacuum. The samples which we have already transferred to the ice state, now we have to sublime the vapor from the ice state to directly to the vapor state, and there will be no liquid state in between. That particular step is called the primary drying or the sublimation under vacuum. So a vacuum of 0.5 bars is applied on the frozen materials. The temperature is increased to 30 degrees centigrade within 2 hours. Then the temperature is kept constant. And during this stage, around 98 to 99% water is removed from the material. So this is quite a rate limiting step, because maximum we see 98 to 99% of water is removed at this particular stage. Here we apply vacuum, and particularly we raise the temperature, which was till date it was at freezing temperature. We rise it to up to 30 degree within 2 hours. Next, the temperature is being kept constant, and constantly water is being removed. The D part of the fourth stage is the secondary drying, where we remove the residual moisture under high vacuum. So what is that particular thing? The temperature is maintained at 30 degrees centigrade continuously, and vacuum is lowered to a pressure of 0.07 bars. So temperature is maintained at that particular point. We reduce further vacuum, we apply the vacuum is more. The rate of drying is very low, as it takes 10 to 20 hours to dry a very small, maybe 1% of the moisture. So this step C and step D are the rate limiting steps. In the step C, maximum amount of moisture is being dried, and the remaining or residual moisture is being dried with quite a high time, maybe from 10 to 20 hours. And in this shelves, the samples are being kept, and the heating system, vacuum system, condensing system, refrigeration system, all it is being done in the particular machine. Next, packing, that is the fifth step. Inert gas is introduced inside the dryer to break this vacuum, because the process was undergone through that particular high rate of vacuum. So to break the vacuum, we have to implant some inert gas. Then the vials and ampoules are sealed within the dryer to reduce the contact of the atmospheric gases. This particular process is unique. No other dryer applies this principle of sublimation, of putting the temperature and pressure below this eutectic point. Come to the advantage, disadvantages. Advantages is that it takes place at a quite a low temperature. So enzymes action is inhibited and decomposition is very minimum. Hydrolysis is also very minimum. The solution is frozen so that the final dry product is a network of solid occupying the same volume as the original solution. So there is no case of hardening and the product is light and porous. The dried material which we are obtaining, will get after freeze drying, it is quite porous and quite light. Next, the dried products are readily redissolved or resuspended by the addition of water prior to use. That is also another advantageous thing. And the solution do not concentrate on drying, which can be a problem in case of other dryers. Under high vacuum, there is no contact with air, so the chances of oxidation is also reduced to minimum. Next, come to the disadvantages. Yes, it produces a very hygroscopic product sometimes, hence should be sealed in the final package within the dryer itself. Because of the nature of the drying, because of the principle involved, the material may be quite hygroscopic, so it is being drying within the dryer itself. It is packed within the dryer itself. Again, the process is quite slow because to dry the residual moisture, we have seen 10 to 20 hours may be needed. So it is a slow process. The machine is quite costly. The instrument is quite costly because it involves application of vacuum, freezing, pre-freezing, then drying up to certain time. So all these operations makes it quite a costly one. Applications: maintenance and preservation of microbial culture. Microbial culture is we have to maintain for certain experiments of microbiology. So this is particularly being done, that it is preserved and maintained by the help of this freeze drying process. Solution of penicillin can be stored at 0 to 2 degrees centigrade and used within 2 to 3 days. But if freeze dried, it is stable for several months. This is the process how we preserve different types of microbial cultures. To produce fibrin foam, that is also another important because the foam is freeze dried. To prepare gelatin sponge, these are all applications where it is being foamed, it is sterilized and it is freeze dried and can be used as a surgical dressing also. Used to dry different blood products, sera, blood products, enzymes, plant products, diagnostics, mammalian tissues, useful and in skin and bone graft surgery. This is a typical freeze dryer which we'll find in our laboratory of Scope Indore. We'll have a demonstration of that. So this is our last machine in terms of dryers are concerned. Another useful one, quite useful one, that is called rotary dryers. A very simple diagram, just like an elongated cylinder. This is a rotary dryer. This is the air inlet. Air comes through this direction. This is the heater. This is the drying shell. This is the dry gear. This is the motor through which it can rotate. So this is the fashion. It is rotating. It is rotating in this direction. This direction. This is the feed inlet. Feed comes through this chamber to this, and this is the air outlet. The condensed air can go out through this chamber. So it is a cylindrical shell around 10 meters of length, mounted with a light slope, so that the material will move through the shell as it is slowly rotated at about 10 rpm. It is rotated at quite a small rpm, that is 10 rpm. Next, to improve the contact, the shell contains baffles or flights. In between there are some acid boundaries or baffles so that the contact area is being improved, which lifts the solids and spill the particle through the air stream. The presence of the baffles or some partitions are there in this thing, in this cylinder, so that when it is rotated, so through the baffles also the particles is distributed well, the solids. hot air flows counter current to the flow of the material. This is the air inlet, the hot air flows through this direction, and the feed inlet is giving through is through this direction. So it is a counter flow. Air comes through this and the feed comes through this direction. Application, it is used for continuous drying on a large scale of any powder or granular solid. It is quite useful for any sorts of large scale, and it is a continuous process because we have to go on the air inlet constantly, source of air. The air will be heated through these air heaters, and dry product which we can get through the dry product outlet. And this is the feed inlet, so we can design the machine as a continuous one. This is a typical industrial rotary dryer. So this completes the topic of different dryers. Thank you very much.